Today is our second class in quantum psychotherapy, and our topic is the application of quantum psychotherapy principles in healing the mind. We are exploring how we can work on the energy beneath bodily symptoms to maintain a healing mode within the environment of our cells to restore and heal our body, mind, and spirit by shifting our internal vibration and intent to influence our biological and emotional state at the most fundamental level. And this is quantum psychotherapy and what it is and does. Quantum psychotherapy, therefore, addresses the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit, and it operates on the premise that our consciousness is part of a universal energy field and that our thoughts and intentions can directly influence physical and emotional well-being. We have started a journey of experiencing how differently we perceive our human body. And we dive into working with the energy underlying every symptom we experience, the energy underlying what we see and hear, the energy behind the circumstances, events, situations, places, and people we encounter. As a student on this course of quantum psychotherapy, are you simply going through this course, or will you allow this course to go through you with every quantum psychotherapy topic we will be learning on this course? Will you be willing to practice taking charge of your own energy field, to remain anchored in the present moment, no matter what life may throw your way? As therapists that will be holding the space for the clients we will be doing quantum psychotherapy with, have we transitioned to where the present moment mode becomes our default mode, where we remain tranquil, where we remain calm and at peace amidst chaos? This is a prerequisite if we are to facilitate a healing for the clients, the patients, the parishioners, the novices, employees, and congregational family members that we will be working with. Later on this course, and for those of you who took last week's course, we will be able to identify what stage we are at on the quantum spiritual transformation journey. Are you still on the stage of the ego? Are you on the stage of the no self? Or are you moving closer to the stage of your true, authentic I am self? And the goal of this journey is to ultimately get to the radical, unconditioned self-acceptance, a term coined by psychologist Albert Ellis. And radical, unconditional self-acceptance is a powerful grounding. And it means whether we win or lose, our internal state stays the same. We remain that state, whether we are hungry or full, whether things are going our way or getting rocky. And our identity isn't tied to the result. Present moment becomes our primary mode of being. And the mind is secondary. And present moment mode is that unbothered, that high frequency state of the 0 point neutrality. And we stop narrating life as a success or failure. And there is no mental chatter. Wouldn't you love to live this way? As therapists who will be facilitating a client's healing journey, we have to achieve radical unconditional self-acceptance. Our own self-acceptance as a therapist serves as a powerful living model for the client. And in quantum psychotherapy, radical unconditional self-acceptance is not just a personal state, but a functional engine for the client's healing. From a quantum perspective, the therapist and client aren't separate. They are interconnected as a system where the therapist's internal state directly influences the current's reality and healing. And when we operate from a state of radical self-acceptance, we provide a non-judgmental observation field. And this allows the client's maladaptive patterns to open up a superposition of possibilities where the client is free to shift into new and healthier versions of themselves. And by being in a state of radical, unconditional self-acceptance ourselves, our regulated and accepting signature helps the client's nervous system to reorganize. And our self-acceptance allows them to bypass their inner critic and find safety through our resonance. In quantum psychotherapy, the therapist that you are acts as a coherent observer. And if we haven't achieved radical, unconditional self-acceptance ourselves, our observation of the client might be distorted by our own unresolved ego interference. I love that. And this is what makes quantum psychotherapy different from merely quantum counseling. So now let us look at the difference between quantum psychotherapy and quantum counseling. In the very way while we were studying psychology, how we saw the difference between counseling and psychotherapy. So in the quantum paradigm, the distinction between quantum psychotherapy and quantum counseling is defined by the therapist's internal state, especially their level of radical, unconditional self-acceptance, and the depth of the field they hold for the client. And quantum psychotherapy focuses on the energetic foundation of the individual. Therapist operates as a quantum facilitator who recognizes that a client's reality is fluid and dynamic, not static. And in psychotherapy, radical, unconditional self-acceptance is the prerequisite. You, as the therapist, you have to embody a state of deep presence and calm to create an environment conducive to quantum change, which is a sudden, profound transformation that cannot be engineered but only held. And it's you as a therapist to hold it first. And quantum psychotherapy views the healing as happening in the intersubjective field between you and the client. And our radical, unconditional self-acceptance is the software that updates the client's hardware. And in counseling, You are teaching the client to code. But in psychotherapy, you are sharing your own operating system with the client. Are we beginning to see the difference between quantum psychotherapy and quantum counseling? Because psychotherapy requires sitting in that void, sitting in that nothingness, sitting in that non-duality, sitting in that emptiness, that nothingness. The space of deep unknowing and pain. And without radical unconditioned self-acceptance, you as a therapist will feel a quantum drag, D-R-A-G, to fix or fill that void, to feel competent as a therapist. Hello? So radical unconditional self-acceptance allows you as a therapist to sit comfortably in the void, knowing that your worth isn't tied to the speed of the client's fix. Just as there is a difference between counseling and psychotherapy, quantum counseling and quantum psychotherapy are also different. And quantum psychotherapy often delves deeper into unconscious patterns and trauma using specialized techniques, while quantum counseling focuses more on immediate, actionable shifts in perspective and energy management. So quantum counseling is more solution-focused and action-oriented, using quantum principles as tools for navigating specific life challenges to foster holistic healing. And it's more focused on empowering clients by changing their perception of reality from victimhood to being a creator. And it is typically more immediate, focusing on shifting energetic states through mindfulness, visualization, and grounding to resolve current life challenges. And it involves more guided or facilitative role, helping the client understand and navigate distress from a spiritual or quantum perspective. And it aims at expanding awareness and mindful observation, and it supports the client to recognize their interconnectedness with the universe and with the vast intelligence. And the counselor acts as a guide or mentor who introduces quantum concepts to the client, providing tools to manage symptoms, understand their energetic reality. It also helps clients understand the energetic mind, body, and universal connections influencing the client's well-being. And clients shift from rigid patterns to fluid states, utilizing grounding, visualization, intention setting to promote balance and empower their own healing process. Quantum psychotherapy, on the other hand, is deeper than quantum counseling, because it addresses the fundamental energetic and often unconscious root causes of psychological distress. The mind, body, and spirit are interconnected. And quantum psychotherapy aims at holistic integration of mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical self to catalyze rapid, profound, and deep level transformative healing at the deepest level of consciousness and emotional state, rather than just addressing symptoms or engaging in talk-based guidance. Quantum psychotherapy moves beyond the Newtonian view of treating symptoms and fixing a dysfunction. It is the re-education of the mind to realize its own innate power to heal by shifting from a state of ego limitation to a state of infinite potential. And instead of focusing only on behavior changes, quantum psychotherapy works on the level of meaning, on the level of feelings and intuition at that quantum level. And it seeks to facilitate a quantum leap, LEAP, which is a sudden and meaningful transformation in perspective and being. That's a deeper process than simply changing thoughts or beliefs. And it treats clients as a field of energy and information and focuses on the interconnectedness of the client's internal world of their thoughts and emotions with the universal quantum field to facilitate deeper energetic shifts, release blockages, and foster a new and more integrated way of being and living. So quantum psychotherapy explores the subconscious, past experiences, and the energetic patterns to achieve a profound lasting shift by engaging with the client's deepest self and their energetic field. And this quantum psychotherapy is used alongside conventional medicine, restoring the mind to a state of wholeness, harmony, and balance by removing energy blocks. And quantum counseling might focus on behavior changes, but quantum psychotherapy aims for deep internal shifts to transform structures that generate the symptoms. As a quantum psychotherapist, you will be aiming to be a quantum facilitator, acting with your true presence and sustained attention to the client's dilemmas to cultivate a receptive environment within which they can heal. The body, mind, and environment and consciousness are all interconnected through energy fields rather than isolated entities. And the idea of an observer influencing the observed state can be applied to the client-therapist relationship. And this highlights how your client's thoughts and intentions shape their reality. And their reality is viewed as fluid and changeable. And your role as a therapist is to help your client to become more comfortable with uncertainty, more comfortable with the unknown, more comfortable with that void, that emptiness, that nothingness, because it is a process rather than controlling it. So it's applied to various issues like anxiety, depression, helping clients recognize their ability to influence their own internal state by changing their thoughts, by changing their emotions, because the vibration from the energy and the thoughts is what causes our bodily cells to get into this is. We will now define quantum psychotherapy. Amit Goswami, a theoretical quantum physicist, defines quantum psychotherapy, often referred to as quantum psychology or integral psychology, as a spiritual, scientific approach that empowers one to move beyond a rigid, materialistic view of their psychological problems and to instead use conscious intentions to actively rewire their brain and life. That is Amit Goswami's definition of quantum psychotherapy. And he goes further to say that quantum psychotherapy is a therapeutic approach that is shifting the foundational paradigm of psychology from materialistic science to quantum science based on the principle that consciousness, not matter, but consciousness is the ground of all being. And he says that therapy helps one to connect with their quantum self, which can choose from multiple possibilities to transform whatever experiences they might be going through as clients. And Deepak Chopra posits that healing isn't just a biological repair, but a fundamental shift in consciousness. Healing is a fundamental shift in consciousness that triggers physical transformation. And this is because beneath the physical cells lies a network of intelligence made of energy and information rather than solid matter. And Deepak Chopra sees healing as a quantum leap, where extraordinary events, spontaneous remission occur when a person's consciousness makes a jump to a new state that prohibits the existence of the disease. And Deepak Chopra says, and sees consciousness as the fundamental reality. Therefore, altering one's mental state can directly influence subatomic particles in the body to promote self-repair. This means when we put together the definition of quantum psychotherapy by Amit Goswami and Deepak Chopra, quantum psychotherapy defines healing of the mind as a holistic process of realignment. And consciousness is used to shift the body's energy and information fields to restore a state of wholeness. And quantum psychotherapy focuses on healing the subconscious mind and the collective mind or the collective consciousness and our own body, mind, body's intelligence of ourselves. And quantum psychotherapy looks at the micro mind at the subatomic level and the subconscious mind together with the body mind at the macro level. And then beyond all that, to the collective mind that includes other entangled minds. So rather than viewing the mind as a broken machine that needs to be fixed through isolated interventions, quantum psychotherapy treats the mind, body, and spirit as an interconnected quantum system capable of self-repair when it is in balance. You must be aware by now that our mind can heal our body, and our body, with its various exercises, can also heal our mind. So classical Newtonian therapy focuses on deterministic linear cause and effect and behavior modification, whereas quantum psychotherapy focuses on nonlinear, probabilistic, interconnected, and energetic shifts. And changing our consciousness and energy, we change the reality that we inhabit. And quantum psychotherapy emphasizes that reality is fluid, reality is interconnected, and reality is influenced by us as observers to create our own reality and create our own healing. So to summarize, these are the core components of the definition of the quantum psychotherapy that we have just seen. 1, healing is wholeness and energy realignment. Healing is energy, realignment, and wholeness. Then 2, we looked at consciousness-based transformation. We looked at the quantum leap. We looked at the interconnectedness or non-locality. We also looked at the mind-body connection. We looked at quantum coherence, and we looked at the subconscious reprogramming. And as we come to the end of this presentation, we will look at the overview of quantum psychotherapy principles as they are applied in therapy and particularly to mental well-being. Quantum psychotherapy and healing incorporate several concepts from quantum mechanics as metaphors for understanding and influencing mental well-being. And the first principle is superposition or multiple potential realities. Superposition is where a system exists in multiple potential states simultaneously until it is observed. And you, as a therapist, you help your clients see that their mental well-being is a dynamic, probabilistic, and non-linear process rather than a fixed state. And clients can hold multiple potentials for behavior, for emotion, and identity simultaneously. And you and the client can explore the alternative perspectives they can collapse so that they can get over their current painful reality into a new, more positive one through the therapeutic interaction between you and your client. The second principle is the principle of entanglement and interconnectedness. Instantaneous correlation between entangled particles can be applied to human interconnectedness and to human emotional experiences and to the relationship between you as the therapist and the client, which acts as a mechanism for healing, rapport building, and psychological change. And you, as a therapist, your emotional regulation and presence can directly influence the client's mental state. Our third principle is mind-body interconnectedness. And this principle suggests that the mind, body, and energy field are not separate, but interconnected, and changes in one aspect affects the other. A change in your body affects a change in your mind. A change in your energy field affects the change in your body. And thoughts and emotions are believed to influence the body at a cellular and energetic level. And applying this mind-body interconnectedness to the client relationship with the therapist means recognizing that the mental health of your client is not just in the head, but is experienced through their physical sensations, through their muscle tension, and through their nervous system responses. And by integrating somatic bodily-based approaches with traditional talk therapy, you as a therapist, you can help your client release stored trauma and improve emotional regulation and achieve a deeper healing. And our fourth principle is the observer effect. Observing a system influences its outcome. So the therapist that you are, you shape the client's experience and the client's own power to influence their reality through their focused attention and perception. So observation influences the behavior of particles. And the client's own focused awareness and intention and mindful observation can influence their mental and emotional landscape and change their mental and physical condition. A client's mental state, a client's behavior and emotions change simply because they are aware, they are being watched and listened to by you as a therapist. And this transforms therapy from being a passive sharing of information into a dynamic, active process where the act of observation itself shapes the therapeutic outcome. And it also shapes the therapeutic alliance and environment. And our fifth principle is energy fields and vibrational frequencies. And human beings are viewed as composed of both physical matter and subtle energy systems. And the human body is seen as a dynamic system of energy and information that vibrates at specific frequencies depending on the thoughts and emotions that we hold. And the body emits those energy fields of our thoughts and emotions. So this concept of vibrations is used to promote health and balance. Because when we are thinking positive thoughts, our body is upgraded health-wise. And when we are thinking negative thoughts, our bodily cells are downgraded health-wise. So mental or physical ailments are seen as energy imbalances or blockages, which the therapy aims to correct. And our sixth and last principle is non-locality and entanglement. So non-locality refers to instantaneous connection regardless of distance, and entanglement refers to changes in one part of a system affecting a change in the other part instantaneously. And it is often applied to the mind-body connection. And it also is applied to the therapist presence, directly influencing the client's emotional states, fostering or observer effect healing. So just as quantum particles can be connected regardless of distance, one's well-being is influenced by social influences beyond their immediate environment. So consciousness can transcend the physical distance and time, implying that healing can occur beyond physical space, and individuals are fundamentally connected to a universal energy field. Were you aware that you can heal a client who is on a different continent energetically? This is what non-locality and entanglement highlights. So the question I'm leaving you today As a new student on this course of quantum psychotherapy, what insights are you already getting about healing your own energy field, healing your situations, circumstances, and events and places? And when that is done, are you simply going through this course, or will you allow this course to go through you with every new therapy you will be learning on this course, so that later you can have an upper hand on helping your client go through the same? Thank you for this. I wish you a blissful evening. Thank you, and thank you. Namaste.